Hello and welcome to My Career in Data, a podcast where we discuss with industry leaders and experts how they have built their careers. I'm your host, Shannon Kemp, and today we're talking to Ryan Owens from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana.
With a robust catalog of courses offered on demand and industry-leading live online sessions throughout the year, the Dataversity Training Center is your launchpad for career success. Browse the complete catalog at training.dataversity.net and use code DVTalks for 20% off your purchase.
Hello and welcome. My name is Shannon Kemp, and I'm the Chief Digital Officer at Dataversity, and this is My Career in Data, a Dataversity Talks podcast dedicated to learning from those who have careers in data management, to understand how they got there, and to be talking with people who help make those careers a little bit easier. To keep up to date in the latest in data management education, go to dataversity.net/subscribe. Today, we are joined by Ryan Owens, the Senior Data Warehouse Analyst at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. And normally, this is where a podcast host would read a short bio of the guest, but in this podcast, your bio is what we're here to talk about. Ryan, hello and welcome.
Hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's kind of warm down here in New Orleans, Louisiana, but it's if you can't feel it, then it's something's wrong with that. But it's good out here. I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to join the podcast today.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us. And I have to tell you, New Orleans is one of my favorite cities on the planet.
Oh, yeah. It was great. Everything else is great too.
Yeah, if you love food and music, New Orleans is the place to be.
Oh, yes. That's where it is.
Indeed. It's been too long. I got to get myself back there sometime soon.
Oh, see, I'm sporting my Mardi Gras tie right now. So,
I love it.
A little bit of my colors there.
Oh, I love it. So you're the Senior Data Warehouse Analyst at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. So tell me, especially for people who may not know worldwide, what is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana?
Yeah, so Blue Cross Blue Shield Louisiana is a health insurance company. And we have about 3,000 employees. And one of our mission rather is to stay committed to improve the health and lives of Louisianians. Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of tongue twisted there too.
Yeah. It happens so much to all of us, and as much talking as I do publicly, it happens to me all the time.
Absolutely.
And so, and in the United States, for people who don't know, health insurance is dictated by a state. It's not a federal thing, right?
Yes, absolutely. In Louisiana, the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana is one of those. So, we have the association, and then it kind of by state, it trickles down to whoever wants that.
So you mentioned that you're the senior. So we mentioned you're the Senior Data Warehouse Analyst, and so what is it that you do, and what's your typical work week look like?
So I work with a team of blue employees, so we call ourselves blue employees, and some contractors that come in and help us out as well, and manage our intake and deliver a lot of projects that are from our internal business, which can come from different departments, and external business that could be from other vendors, partners, and hospitals. And so we manage a lot of data that comes in, and we may have some bi-directional deliverables, but I really try to work with our extracts. I work with our extracts rather, and that's one of my roles. And what we do is we get all the business requirements from those internal and external business owners, and so I do my best to deliver as much as I can and as quickly as I can to those partners.
Oh, very cool. So again, just that's got to be a lot of data that you are working with and delivering and managing and extracting there.
Yeah, it's a lot of analysis as well. I mean, this is lots of data that we do have, and but it's good because you learn so much. There's so many different areas that you can learn about, and data is just because data is everywhere. Why not take a look at it, and why not learn all about the business?
Indeed. Oh, I love that. I bet that takes some skill. So as an analyst, you're not just looking at numbers and crunching numbers. You're having to interact with the humans as well and making sure you understand the requirements and making sure you communicate it back out. And it sounds like you're doing some analysis as well to let them know what their data is saying.
Yes, absolutely. And trying to get them to the right data. That's the main thing. You can have, you heard the garbage in, garbage out, but you really want to get your business owners to the right data. And especially those that will work with data, you want to make sure it's curated properly as well. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get into this analyst role is because I love people. Like you said, I love to talk to people. Before I came in with a coding background, so I had the software developing background, and yes, it was good for a while, but it was good for me to work more with people, speak more to people, not just the team, but also on an enterprise level, think more of a leadership level. And once I've gotten to that point, and I was advised to look into these roles by many people, not just because of the personality, but because of the ideas and the vision that I had for myself. I decided to take this role and see what I can do with it, see how I can make it my own, and see what I can own in this role.
So let's back it up then. You're talking a little bit about how you, why you wanted to get into this role. So let's back it way up. So tell me, Ryan. So when you were just a little kid in what we in the U.S. call the elementary school, was this the dream? Did you want to say, when I grow up, I want to be a senior data warehouse analyst?
Oh man,
or what was the dream?
Well, shoot, I think that's a hard no, right? But the first thing, I know I wanted to work in technology, definitely in computers. I know that way back, even when I was in my mom and dad's offices, whenever I would go to their offices, they would always have pinball, one of those computer games up there, or solitaire, one of those first computer games up there. Working on Windows 98. But it was, I wanted to work in technology. I didn't know how far it would go. And even continuing, from an elementary, going into middle school and high school, technology was always on my brain, looking at coding, maybe a little bit of database, some web design. I was all over the place. I never really knew where I could put my foot in and have and be able to really enjoy that. And so once I got to college, if I can continue, I didn't think I would like coding as much because there were so many programming languages that I had to learn, and even learning systems and learning database, and then going into cybersecurity is so many avenues, right? And I didn't see where I could fit in. So then at that point, I'm like, okay, let's get this degree, let's figure out what we can do, and let's get a job. What
was the degree? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my degree was in computer information systems.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Yes, and I concentrated in networking and a little bit of programming as well. So it was all over the place. And of course, at my school at Northwestern State University, it was very interesting because it was split into 3 different majors. So all of my classes went to in the business department. All of my classes were from business administration, accounting, and computer information systems. So I had a mix of all of those. It was kind of hard, but I was able to join all of that and see, okay, I can match all these to any kind of business, right? And it's not just about a standardized, business administration or standardized computer information systems. I can do so much with this because it's so it varies, right? In the roles and responsibilities and all the different majors that come about it. Anything you do outside of graduation, you can make your own, and hopefully something that will interest you later on. So once graduating, I got a job with a consulting firm, and I loved everything about it. I didn't know that it was really consulting. I thought it was just all technology. But then I had to learn how to interview. I remembered I had to interview with so many different, for so many roles. And it got to my very last role. I was there for 4 years. And in my last role, I actually became a data analyst and, in a way, a product owner. And that sparked a little bit of data management. It gave me a little taste of it. And I was learning a little bit about informatica and the software development side. And so when I left that consulting firm, I decided to go to Blue Cross Blue Shield and take on a full-time role as a software developer. And so that's where my taste of that life cycle, the data life cycle, really stuck in for me, instead of doing so many different roles. A little bit of programming, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I wanted to be, stable in a role for a while. And so that's where Blue Cross Blue Shield, Louisiana, gave me an opportunity, and I took heed and went straight for it. And I love everything about it so far. I've been there for 6 years and 3 months now.
Wow, congratulations. Oh, I love that. So you started as a software developer for them.
Yes.
So then how did you move then and transition and grow into the senior data warehouse analyst?
Yes, absolutely. So once an opportunity came about for this role, and I think data governance opened up for me first. And so I kind of walked into the data governance role as a senior data, it was still a senior data warehouse analyst, but under data governance. And I loved everything about the role as well. I loved meeting new business owners, working with business owners, analyzing data for them, solving problems, creating solutions, and of course, trying to persuade in a way that I can build trust with them. And that was a major part of the role. I wanted to be able to build trust, and not just because of who I am and with the role that I'm in, but it's because of what I needed to do to make them aware that that they're getting the right data, that they're getting the things that they need to do for their job as well. So with the advisement of some of my peers, they also persuaded me to go ahead and take the opportunity to get into this role. And I think about a year or so later, I kind of went into another side, even though I'm still the senior data warehouse analyst. I am now working with product management, and with product management, this is where I now own the data extracts for the enterprise.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And that's so interesting that you first started under data governance, because so many people and so many companies, we hear, pushback, that data governance is a dirty word. We don't need data governance, and analysts don't touch data governance or have anything to do with data governance. But I love this, that you have analysts within the data governance office, so to speak. That's great.
Absolutely. And you know what, data governance, we just came from the DGIQ conference, and it was wonderful. And, that was one of the things, why is it so dirty to say data governance? But you have to understand what it really does for your company, your firm, your enterprise. It's a good medium to where if you go to that, you obviously you have legal, that's totally separate from this, but data governance is what a company needs, right, to really move forward in a lot of things, to keep things standard, or whatever you decide to use data governance for. Everyone uses it differently, and I know for my company, our data governance is for our enterprise data warehouse. We also have an IGO, with an information governance office, that supersedes all of that for the enterprise itself. But our data governance is for the enterprise data warehouse. We service that.
Oh, that's so.
But but we work directly with our information governance office.
Yeah.
For anything that goes in and anything comes out.
And I want to touch on another thing that you called out too, that you really work to earn the trust of the people that you're working with. You just don't throw numbers at them and say, hey, this has data quality behind it. There's it's marketing and communication skills, and they need to trust you as much as, and just not, and you need that trust versus just throwing numbers on a piece of paper to them, or, in an email or PowerPoint or whatever.
Right, absolutely. And it all starts with, how can you be an effective communicator?
Mhm.
I could say back in college, and I still work on it today. I'm not perfect at this. And back in college, I was um, a a leader in a freshman orientation leader. And so with that, I had to be able to effectively communicate with parents and with students, the potential students that were coming to the school. And so if I didn't know something, I needed to also say, okay, well, I don't know this, but let me figure it out. And so that's, even though you may not know the answer to something, going back to that, you will have to go and figure it out, and you should, because that is a job, that is your role. And if you communicate that to your business owner, even though you don't know the answer, it's important to them to say, okay, well, I'm glad that he doesn't know, let him go find the answer, and then he'll communicate that back to me. That's building trust as well, especially, you don't want to know it all. If you do have a know it all, it's fine, but you want someone to be human and say, you know what, I don't know, but let me figure it out.
Oh, I really appreciate that. It took me way too long to figure out that that lesson. I will have to say, I was taught that you should, be authoritative and know it all, but you just don't. We are human, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love that you say, you're not perfect in your communication. Nobody is. We've been talking about it a lot at Dataversity about progress, not perfection. Right?
Absolutely.
Always working to get better.
More and more companies are considering investing in data literacy education, but still have questions about its value, purpose, and how to get the ball rolling. Introducing the newest monthly webinar series from Dataversity, Elevating Enterprise Data Literacy, where we discuss the landscape of data literacy and answer your burning questions. Learn more about this new series and register for free at dataversity.net.
Absolutely. That's major. I think that's a really good rule of thumb. You have to, it's progress. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
Honestly.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that then. So what has been your biggest lesson so far in your career? What's been a big aha moment?
Nothing is ever going to be the same. Technology and decisions will change frequently. It's happening. It's happening at my enterprise. It's happening all over the country. Technology is going it went from C++ to, Spark and all these other types of technologies that you have today. I mean, we used to have COBOL. I used to program in COBOL, right? And we use COBOL now. I mean, I know some banks do and all, but now you have Python. You have all these different programming languages, all the different technologies and software is coming out, and it's coming in very high frequencies. Actually, it's not as low as it used to be, but now, because of the different research and the different genius, the minds of this new generation, right? It's so much that's coming about, and you have to be able to learn something new. And that's the major thing for it. You have to learn something new and take it as an opportunity to learn new things to enhance your data set. I'll stick by that.
Oh, I love that messaging. Things are constantly changing. We cannot expect things to stop.
Absolutely. And the decision will always change as well. You can't, it's not going to be the same all the time, and companies are actually starting to adopt that. Right. So, that agile methodology, when you have to be able to work with change, and no matter what, it's not all going to be waterfall anymore. Everything changes.
So how do you keep up with the change, and how do you keep up with the new tech that you need to use?
So I'll do my research. That's key for me. I have to do research, and if something were to change within the next week, I just need to be aware of where I am in learning that one thing first before it changes. I know that I lean on our management and leadership to make those decisions for us. And of course, I do my due diligence to ask the proper questions and to be in the know when when I need to know, especially, in those times. But it can be hard. it can be hard to keep up with those things, I will have to say. But do your due diligence to stay alert with all the new technologies, and also be aware of be aware of what could change, because it's not always going to be there.
I love that. I love that you keep learning. I've talked to so many people, I think, too, as growing up, especially for my generation, I think I'm a bit older. I won't say how old.
Oh, you're young. I can see you're like 25, right?
But yeah, exactly. But that you get to a point where you know everything, you've learned everything, and you're just sailing the rest of your way. But learning is so fun.
Oh, yes, it is.
And if we stop learning, then we really age.
Well, and here's the other thing too. I've learned so much being in this role, being at this company, and we're a big family at Blue Cross Blue Shield Louisiana. We want to build others up, and put people into positions to where you can achieve whatever goal that you see fit. And I love how our management and leaders really take a look at us and make sure that we are in the right place. Because if they see something that's not right with us, they'll ask about it. We have a lot, our one-on-ones. That's key for our management to have with their employees. And when they see that there's something not right, or they see performance, they want to make sure that their employees are in the right spot. Are you sure you're okay? Is everything good with this? How's everything with this project? How's this research going? They're really concerned with their employees, and I absolutely love it. And that's why I'm still here. I love everything about the role, and the data that we collect, and the data that we are able to put out for our business owners, honestly. And I learned so much from, Dataversity and the conferences, and they send us to conferences. That's what I really love too, because I learned from, I network with, not just the sponsors and not just the people that are participating, but those that are actually presenting. I network with them. I try to figure out what they're doing in their companies, so that maybe I can bring a little bit back to mine. But if we don't take it in, then maybe it's something that I can learn for myself, to where eventually down the line it could, and if it does change and it does fit into what they want to do later on, then it will work.
It's one of my favorite parts about our community, and the data management community, is the networking, and how much, I get inspired every day. Every webinar I produce, and conference I go to, just I'm in awe of how kind and how giving people are of their time to each other, to learn from each other and talk to each other and help support each other. It's great. It's really very,
Absolutely.
very cool.
Absolutely. And of course the destinations are great too. So
yeah, can't go wrong with San Diego.
That's right. And I went to EDW World as well at 2019 before it all.
We're back in person finally again. Yay for EDW in fall in Anaheim, California. We're going to be doing
I really want to make it to that too. That's where I first fell in love with the Certified Data Management Professional certification.
Oh, that's cool. Well, let's get into that here tell me about the certification first before I get into the next question. So since you mentioned it, so you can just define it for those listeners.
Yes, absolutely. So the Certified Data Management Professional certification is focused on data management. All of the, I believe it's 14, forgive me, pillars of data management, the Dharma wheel, all of that. If you don't know anything about it, you want to learn about it, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but go ahead and get the DMBOK version 2. It is a data management Bible, about 600 so pages worth of it, and it's amazing. I love everything about the book, and I use some of it today. There you go. Yep. I use it today.
Plan this, but here's my copy.
You have all of it. Look, you got everything there. See, and I love how you have all your tags. It's it's wonderful. But the test was when I took it in 2019. That was the first time. That was the first conference I've ever been to. Data management conference, and when I took the test the first time, I did not pass, and I was a little upset by it because I finally found something that I felt that I could focus my career on. And I was about 2 years into Blue Cross Blue Shield, Louisiana. So I was like, you know what? I need to really get this and focus and really study hard for this exam because I had three chances to do it. So those other two chances I did not get it. I did not pass it. But then last year I came to DGIQ and my main goal was to get this certification. I studied hard for the last 3 years and tried to, I wanted to wait because we had COVID. I tried it again while, virtually when I was at home, and I didn't pass it then. But then when I got to DGIQ last year, my goal was to get this certification, and the first day, first try, got it. Yes. I was so excited. I was like relieved. I could relax for the rest of the day. My mind wasn't boggled with all the terms and it was too much. But I really, really love this book. I love everything about Dataversity, bringing this to life, partnering with Dama, and making sure that they introduced the foundation of data management to all of the participants and also, honestly, to the world. Because everyone knows about data, but they don't know how to use it. They don't know why it's all over the place. But in order to organize the data, these concepts, these principles are extremely important for those to understand as they move on within their careers in data management for their companies.
Oh, that's some great advice. And thank you. And so I'm going to, since you work so much with data and now you're certified, congratulations. Yes. This is awesome. So what is your definition of data?
I struggle with that, and I would say it's very simple, right? The definition of data is information. You look at all of the information that you collect about, for instance, a person. My name is Ryan Owens. I have a social security number. I have a birth date. I have an address. I have all these characteristics and things about myself. And all of those things pertain to me. And like I said, I know that this might be extremely simple, but it's really just information about something, not just about a person, but something, how, what makes that thing happen? What is it? And how can I organize it to make it something that I want to look for later? And I feel like that's what, a lot of our CEOs and out of our higher leadership wants to look at data. They don't know what an analyst really does with it. They don't know what's really in a file, but they want to see how they can turn this file into a dashboard to where they can really use that data. It's all about how you can use it. That's what you want, because you can take a raw file that has information about something, but what can you do to use that data is, I think, where it has to, which goes to the next question of that. What is data, but then how can you use it?
Yeah. Oh, I love that a lot. And you work with data a lot. So, and as someone in a career at data management, do you see the importance of data management and the number of jobs working with data increasing or decreasing over the next 10 years, and why?
I see it increasing. And the reason why I say that is because we have a lot of AI technology. All this automation is coming into play. I love automation. I love making things easier, quicker, for a very simple task to do. But in order for, and the reason why I say increase is because even though we have all of this, we still have to have people that understand it. Because if you don't understand the build of it, the background code of it, And technology, even though with technology getting smarter and smarter, even on its own, learning, these machine learning models, all of this, if you don't understand it, then how can you manage it?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be it, because you don't want to, we see all these iRobot and all of that, they're doing all the things for us, but there's someone that really understands the model, someone really understands how it's learning. And if you can learn that skill set, you'll be able to manage those automated technologies, and that'll be extreme for that one or many individuals that get into data management now.
Oh, that makes so much sense. We've seen a lot of companies try to stand up machine learning and AI machine learning, especially, and then suddenly realize, oh, we forgot the data prep. We need a data model.
Yeah, you have to start. You have to, what's your foundation? How do you look at things from a, how can I say this? What is the peak? What is the high point of where you see something that's so little, like a small raw file go? How do you see, the AI technology, and how can you manage that stuff? It's one of those things that I feel that, a lot of people look at it from a surface and they don't really understand the big picture later. So how can you look at from the big picture and then try to be able to manage that big picture, starting from that very small thing?
So, Ryan, you've given a lot of really great advice already. So, with those, is there anything additional that you would give advice to for people looking to get into a career in data management?
Yeah, I'll just go back and reiterate, just do your research.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much out there to learn from. There's so many books. A lot of people write many, data management for dummies, or any type of, data management or leadership related book to learn about your data, because every company has data. Mm-hmm. So why not be part of that? Why not be able to be part of something that you can manage, right? And not just be a software developer, because even with a software developer, you still have to manage data. You're transforming it into something that's more visible for someone else. There are a lot of blogs, the working groups, and even programs that are out there that allow for you to learn about data management. So I would say continue to do your research and even try to network with those that are in different roles within your company, or look for partnering companies that do that as well. And just try to look into those roles and see what it is and how can you see yourself in that role one day.
Such good advice. Well, Ryan, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
Oh, no, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you to Dataversity. I enjoyed every bit of this, and I would love to be back again one day, and hope to see you all soon at the next conference.
Yeah, I can't wait. I look forward to seeing you again. It's so nice to be back in person and seeing and chatting with you, so.
Yes, absolutely.
and say hi to New Orleans for me, because again,
I sure will. Hope to see you at Mardi Gras next year.
Indeed. And to all of our listeners out there, if you'd like to keep up to date in the latest podcast and the latest in data management education, you may go to dataversity.net/subscribe. Until next time, and stay curious, people. Thank you for listening to Dataversity Talks, a podcast brought to you by Dataversity. Subscribe to our newsletter for podcast updates and information about our free educational webinars at dataversity.net/subscribe.